It is Sunday, May 24th. It's time for another edition of our show tonight with a very special guest, the author of the best-selling book on sales in history, Jeffrey Gitomer. As it's time now for the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. And it's time once again to welcome him. Please join me in welcoming Ken and Glenn.
And a guy
named Scott.
Yeah. Just like we rehearsed it. That was great. I love that.
You've been promoted, my friend.
I have been. I dig it. That's awesome.
You got your own introduction. You no longer are sentenced to introducing yourself. This is a momentous occasion in the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott.
I am writing this date down. It's going in ink.
And I'm teaching all my friends, Scott, by the way, I'm teaching them all how to say the name of the show without taking a breath so that it's not the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. It's the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's so good.
How are you, Jen? How was your week?
Good to see you guys. How you been?
Really well.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people already popping on here. By the way, well, no, you don't need. You already shared this out, didn't you guys?
I certainly did.
Okay, then it's on
at an uncharacteristically early mile marker, I might add.
That it's on your timeline. We have, man, what a week! What a week! How was the week for you guys?
It was great.
A very busy week. I don't know about you guys, but it's like we've created, and I've kind of hated the term, but we've kind of created this new normal of a pace that's picked up as people are getting more accustomed, I think, to working remotely.
You know, we started out our week with some very big news, and thank you, Scott, for your congratulations, Ken, for yours. But our show, The Resident, was renewed by Fox Television for our 4th season, and I have been aboard the show since the very first year. So I'm grateful because one of the rare privileges in show business is to have a running role on a series. There's a big difference between work and steady work. And when you have a series regular role, it's really one of the kind of dream come true developments that an actor can have in their lifetime. And I've been blessed to have several of those. But this is the latest one, and we're excited. We are starting our season a little bit later than would be typical. Typically, we would start right after, as do all of the primetime dramas on the main 4 networks, meaning CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox. They start right after the July 4th holiday, and they will have had a chance to get several episodes filmed, cut, ready to go for broadcast in September to get the fall season underway. Well, we're now not even starting filming until that time. So all of the scripted shows are being put on hold, at least for the Fox network. I don't know about the other networks. And this is not talking out of school. This is all stuff that's been already released publicly. It's online. But we will come back as a mid-season replacement in January. And by that time, we will have been able to stockpile several episodes and have a great new season. So we're excited. Glad to be back.
I don't mean to put you on the spot with this question, Glenn, but it appeared to me as a viewer of the show, even before we met, that your role is certainly expanding. Is that accurate? Is that correct?
Well, and they don't give us a heads up going into each new season, but where it expanded, the big jump was from season 1, where I came in as simply a guest star with no contract, no guarantee, just coming in and being introduced as the lead character's father. And basically they're going to roll the dice. They'll see what the chemistry is received as and make a determination from that point. Is it good energy? Is it interesting energy? Is it worth exploring? Is this a plus for the show? And they discovered that it was, and brought me from the realms of being a guest star into a series regular, and really expanded the role in season 2. That storyline was so thick that I think the execs pulled back and went, well, we can't really turn it into the father-son show.
Mhm.
So my role was somewhat reduced in season 3, but it's still a dream come true. And it's certainly everything you could hope for to be operating in my capacity in the show. And man, look, I'm a happy guy because we're a youth-dominated industry. And when you are 61 years old and you've been making movies and television shows for 45 years, you're a blessed man. That's all there is to it. So I'm
such a
feeling
great
very
scene. That last scene of you and he in the bar talking to each other. So that what a great scene. And
I think they're setting up things to come, but they have not told us. So I'm as in the dark as the public is.
As a viewer, it sure looked that way. And the dynamic that he has with the hospital, then your role with it now. And it's if you don't watch The Resident, I really, really recommend it. It's
so let me give this quick plug. What, Ken?
I have a question.
Sure.
You guys are in this full-blown hi, I'm here, by the way.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe raise your
we didn't think you'd be shy about jumping in.
Just raise your hand, but
I have the controls. I can mute both.
Wait a minute. Don't they have a little electronic blue hand? And you can just put one up in the window that says, I'd like to
get one. Yeah, I'm getting one now. So hey, my question, because you said something, Glenn, you just said, well, it depends on how they respond to the dynamics and the relationship.
Yes.
So, who?
The network execs, based on customer response. So they get a lot of fan mail.
How do they measure that? How do they get the measurement of
fan mail, fan responses, and the chat rooms that are, they have websites for these shows, and people do talk and they say, this is what rocks about your show. The same thing happened on 24. I came in to do 2 friggin' episodes, not seasons, weeks, and lasted 7 years because they detected chemistry and it was something they wanted to explore.
Yeah.
So for those of you who've never seen our show, it's called The Resident. And although we are on Fox, we are currently not on the air, which is a great opportunity to go to Hulu or Fox.com and go back and pick us up from the first year and be current by the time. And if you need lessons in watching large quantities of television, contact Ken Walls. He'll tell you how that's done.
Wow. Well,
Ken, have you ever noticed that in certain shopping malls, I've seen it in Orlando, I've seen it here in Vegas, I've seen it in California, Southern California, there will be research groups that are based in the malls, and they will grab shoppers in the mall and pay them to watch a television show. I think that's probably done more in the pilot season than anything else, but that's part of how they determine it. Particularly if you read, for example, that somebody in a pilot has been replaced by another actor when it goes to series is sometimes based on, just the responses. There's even one in Orlando that I've seen where they hook your hand up to almost like a lie detector to see, what happens when certain scenes are on. How do you respond?
Wow.
And they measure those just as a lie detector measures the heart rate and the sweat and the response. They're to that point of measuring that for audience response now.
Well, I know that they measure pilots before they ever send them to the networks. A lot of times they will have test audiences, and it's not a small number. It's, a packed house of about 100 people, all of whom are surveyed what worked about the show, what didn't, what did you like, what did you hate, suggestions you would make. And the network looks at all of that stuff, and then they will put in last minute changes. They will delete certain scenes or re-edit to favor a different angle of the show, and they wind up creating a better product that way. So yeah, all those shows are tested. They're all tested. So, hey, we got a guest we kind of need to introduce because he's a big shot. He's a cool dude who knows a lot.
May I? And then I'm going to have Scott say a piece because, well, Scott's got a nicer voice than both of us.
Ken, go ahead. You do that, and I'll catch up because I've known for a long time. So.
About our guest, this guy He's very antagonistic. I'm kidding. I love this.
Don't give him a space to step into.
God.
God help us all.
Remember, I have the controls. But no, Jeffrey has over the last 3 years for me I literally just met him about 3 years or so ago for the first time. Drove to Cincinnati, Ohio to have breakfast with him. Actually got pulled over on the way to breakfast and talked my way out of the ticket. So I was like, all right, I get to tell the king of sales how I sold this deal. And he's
what you said, by the way, do you remember what you said to get out of the ticket?
I pulled out my FOP card and showed it to the cop, and he's like, have a nice day, sir.
Oh,
but
wow.
Anyway, wasn't much of a sales job. But anyway, so it really wasn't. But I've read his books for years. I met this guy. He invited me down to his home in Charlotte. And I said, well, I don't have that book. I don't have that book. And I don't have that book. And he finally grabs me. He goes, come here. Takes me. I'm telling you the heart of this guy. Okay. Takes me into his store room, which is just freaking unbelievable. And it looks like Jeffrey Gitomer threw up in this room. Like there's every freaking book that he wrote, books that I didn't even know he wrote or co-authored, and all. There's 17 or 8. I don't even know how many books he's written. And he goes, I want you to get one of each and anything you want out here. And I'm like, dude, I don't think I have the budget for this. He goes, he like smacks me in the back and just get it. You're taking it with you. I'm going to sign every one of them for you. When I'm dead, they'll be worth something. I was like, I mean, and so I have a shelf. He's the only author I have and I have literally hundreds and hundreds of books. He's the only one that I have a complete shelf. The whole shelf is nothing but Jeffrey Gitomer books. The entire thing. His wife is in there too, Jen. So her sales in a New York minute. But anyway, I am very, very honored, excited. I love this man like a much, much, much older brother. Sorry. I had to. Here, I want to welcome Jeffrey Gitomer. Jeffrey, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. And thank you for setting such low expectations. The challenge that I have, my parents were givers. And if they're givers, that's how you're hospitable. You make people leave with food. You don't give them your jewelry, you don't give them your silverware. Sometimes they take it, but you're taught to be hospitable. So I'm blessed with a bunch of books, and I hear that Ken doesn't have them. So cool, you got them. And they may not be more valuable when I'm dead, but eBay will tell the story. They'll be there to tell the story. And I feel like as a writer, I have a gift. People will buy what I have to write. But I was listening to you in the pre-show when I was in the green room, which basically is me sitting at my desk with a cup of coffee.
Did you enjoy the food we had prepared and set
very snazzy? I didn't realize what the budget was.
Wow.
But this is what I discerned from that. When you're on television, you have like 50 million people with websites and a bunch of other crap to try to tell you how you did. I'm a speaker. I'm in front of 1,000 people. I'm in front of 250 people. I get feedback instantly.
Instantly, yes.
I mean, instantly. Like if it's funny, they'll laugh. And if it's not funny, if you think it's funny and they don't laugh, you know it's not funny. You don't have to ask, hey, was that funny? No, dude, there's crickets. Scott knows about that all the time. He's not very funny.
Well, see, that's what I've always thought about people with high content. How do you know when you're killing or not? You know, I mean, if you got funny stuff, you know. But if all you're doing is serious stuff, how do you know? You know,
I gave a speech one time at this thing called the Foundation, and it was about writing a book. And I started out, and this is early on. I've been a member maybe 5 years, but I was already a roomer. So the big shit people were in the room. And I said, in NSA, they have a philosophy of, if you want to write a book, just record your speech and turn it into a book. I said, so let me be the first one to tell you, your speech is not that good. And I'm telling you, the big shit speakers were howling. I mean, literally, the Jeannie Robertson, if you know, she was like, her hands were slapping up against the wall.
I think that I've met a lot of speakers, as you guys have too. And we've talked about this actually on the show before, that there are so many speakers that they'll get on stage, man, they can lay it down. You feel like, wow, every cell in your body just came to life and you didn't even know that they were all dead. And like, you're ready to run through a wall, and you're like, and you run over to them, you say, man, that was a great speech.
Oh, yeah.
Man, can I get it? Can I get an autograph? Will you sign your book for me? And they go, I don't have time for you. I don't have time. Right. Just no. And they treat you like crap. And I've had that happen. And Jeffrey and Scott, neither one of you are like that in any way. And that's why I'm drawn to both of you, honestly.
Wait, that's how Gitomer treated me. I don't know what.
No, I have a card. My card says, we'll speak for cash. And people either recognize it or they don't. Now, when you watch Glenn, he's on film. He's like dead serious in his role, in his character. He portrays his character to the max, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't work in the business for 20 years and be shitty. It just doesn't happen that way. You have to be number one, believable. You have to transfer the elements of your character. And so I think, see how nice that is. Come on. Exactly. Thank you very kindly. Thank you very kindly.
Go ahead and get back to praising me for my skills.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
I love it. I love that Jeffrey was right in the middle of acknowledging my massive skill set. And then it came up about him, and he went, excuse me, I'll be right back.
Exactly. What's your point? The challenge is that he's able to convincingly have you believe that his character is him.
I'm going to prove that right now. You ready?
Yeah.
So here's this is an example of a guy that I've been doing for years.
Perfect.
And a lot of times he has too much to drink, and then he just expresses his opinion whether you ask him for it or not.
Perfect.
So that's one of those people.
That's your main guy, right?
He's actually, you know what he does? He doesn't book a lot of work.
Right.
But he keeps me, this is no BS. He keeps me employed because once I get on a series, they absolutely love. On 24,
I used to rehearse my role. And when we'd go to rehearse with Kiefer, I'd do this.
And they keep you around year after year because they don't want that guy to leave the show. True story. Hey, quick thing. Before we dive into the deep end of the pool, I've been promising Ken a surprise.
Oh, shit.
See, he's getting nervous now. I've been promising him a surprise all week. And I wanted to wait. I knew it would be in front of Scott, but I wanted to wait until we got Jeffrey out of the green room so that he could be a part of this revelation as well. So here's the deal. Ken, you don't know this about me because you've professed to be a devotee of meditation. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. So, and I have respected that. And this is why I don't call you in the morning during that time. I know what time you get up. I know what time your daily show is. And I know that between the time you open your eyes and the time you go on, you are in meditation. Well, here's what you don't know about me. I'm actually trained in this area, and I have taken meditation to the heights. And I want to share this with you because I was a part of something a couple of years ago, and I guess I can do a screen share on this. And there was an event held. It's a global event, and it's called the Meditation Olympics. And I'm going to share it with you guys right now. Is this? Can you see this? If
Not yet.
Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on. We're going to try to do this. There we go. Okay, now it's coming up, right?
Yeah, I see it down there.
Okay, so hold on.
Well, I have to add it to the screen once you get to.
Okay, I'm ready.
The suspense is killing me, man. Here,
Okay, do you have it now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go full screen. So this is the 2016 Olympics for meditation.
Did you click share sound? Because I don't think you did. Nope, we can't hear it.
Okay, hang on.
Well, you're supposed to meditate in silence anyway, aren't you?
Hold on. Now I have to go to stop share.
You did.
Okay. Well, now I don't know. Oh, I got to go back to StreamYard. Sorry about this. And where's the volume that I need to bring?
You got to click on Chrome tab.
For those of you who are there
keep
waiting
chatting.
for the show to start,
Keep chatting and I'll find this.
Yeah, Bill Clinton said, "I never inhaled, I never exhaled," and that was pretty much the story of my meditation. My father said, "Your children's first words are going to be great music, man."
Oh,
you got it yet, Glenn?
No, I don't. You guys just visit amongst yourselves. I'll go to work on this.
No problem. So what we were talking about was character portrayal. And Glenn has played a ton of characters. And every time he has to get his character over. Like me and Scott, we're speakers. We go out, we have our character. It's us.
It's us.
Now, some people are phony.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I want to.
Hey, we're only here 90 minutes. Short show.
When the National Speakers Association get together, it's 1,000 to 1,200 people. They have two rooms, one for the speakers, one for their egos.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. But the challenge is that each one of us has a message of some sort. And to me, it's, can you convey your message and it's transferable? Same with you, Glenn. It's just that you don't know if your message has been transferred until weeks later when all kinds of executives sit in front of a little Ouija board and decide who's going to play what role. And sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes it's a bomb. Maybe they're going with their personal favorites or whatever, but you look at shows, and you were talking about playing the father role. Who's the best father transfer guy on the planet?
Go ahead.
Tell me. He just passed away. Ben Stiller's dad, Jerry Stiller.
Oh, Jerry Stiller. Yeah.
He was the amazing dad. And he was like a walk-on that it was just one of those things where he caught the role and the role caught him. And for years he was, the angry father who knew everything and everyone else was stupid except him. He could have died at any moment of a heart attack. Any episode.
Here's a great question for you guys. Glenn, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, well, then we'll answer this when we come back.
Okay, ready? You can hear that now, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's go full screen. So again, this is me leaking out a great truth, which is that I was part of the Meditation Olympics in 2016. So although it's for our audience primarily, Ken, this is for you.
Okay.
We're so excited and so of a...
Right there. Okay.
And we are back with coverage of the 2016 Meditation Olympics live in Auckland, New Zealand. I am Kyle Boitano, and I'm here with the powerful and talented Kelly Green. It's an honor to be here in your hometown.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us. We love you here. We're so excited, and so are the contestants. So let's get to them.
Yes.
We've got Kara, who is from our hometown here, Auckland, New Zealand. She's been meditating her whole life. And, she uses things to help her meditate, little crystals and things. It seems like she's brought a lot of things on a tray.
One thing that's interesting about Kara is she has opened up 4 chakras.
Oh, already?
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got Hutch, which is a first-time meditator. He's from Bangladesh, and so we're so happy to have him. He's got the kind of casual look going on. Doesn't look very nervous. Thirdly, we have somebody who I'm really excited to see. He's won 5 gold medals here before.
Yes, he's our champion.
Viet Hatevu. He is from, obviously, Chicago. We're really going to get started quickly. I see the referee getting everyone seated.
Go! And they're off. They're all meditating. Viet is choosing to be on the floor. He finds the cross-legged position is the best for him. That's great. What's great about meditation, you can do it any position. Now, if you look at Kara, you already see that she's losing some of her power because she's picking up the crystal there.
That's right.
Now, that's not doing anything for her. So she's switching to the dream catcher. She's got a lot of different things here because she's once again forgetting the key element of meditation, and that's that the power is in you.
That's right.
Not in your lavender oil, your sage, anything like that. With Hutch, you see how his head, he's looking back and forth.
He's getting a little distracted now too.
Yes, but his power is in as if he can stay with it. If Hutch can stay with this, see, right here's the moment where most people buckle because most people get under the illusion right here that they're not enough. But Hutch is still staying with the pain. Bam, right there. You see that? He realized he was fighting nothing and he just let go of it. So far, he's way in the lead with the biggest transformation so far.
Kara just got up.
Kara can't take this. So Kara's disqualified
She's
immediately. She's trying to distract the other meditators, and Hutch isn't taking it. Hutch is staying in his heart. Hutch realizes that entire story is not real. Hutch is free. You guys, Hutch!
Oh, he did it!
Hutch from Bangladesh takes the gold.
Oh, that's amazing.
Viet takes the silver.
Yes,
Wow.
That is
I
incredible.
can't believe that. Viet takes the silver. Viet was so distracted by Kara's ridiculous stuff.
Hutch Hutchinson, you are the winner. You are the champion of the Meditation 2016 Championship. It's unbelievable. What happened up there? Tell us.
It was mostly just about sitting there.
That's a great line. It's mostly just I was sitting there.
It doesn't get any better than that, actually. It's
okay, Ken, there's the surprise I told you about. I just wanted you to know you were not the only meditator and that I did have world-class credentials.
Got a gold medal.
Please tell me you understood that whole thing was a joke.
No.
Please tell me.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Crushed.
Yeah. I'm a believer. Like, I believe in everything. One of my best buddies is also a friend of Scott's. His name is Giovanni Lavera. He's a close-up magician. And I told Gio, I never want to know how you do it. I only want to go, ooh.
Right. Why would you want the illusion busted?
Right. We were in a restaurant one night in Vegas at one of those sit-down Japanese things where they cook the food all around you. And Gio said, he goes, I got this brand new trick where he can like snap his finger and his wedding ring pops off. Like he broke his finger and his wedding ring comes off.
Jeez.
The entire restaurant within 3 minutes was all around our table watching Gio do these close-up tricks.
Yes,
and
of course.
Flipper guys, the onion flipper, meat flipper, rice flipper guys were like, what's going on here? Literally, there were 50 people around us watching this guy's magic show. And we were just, for the hell of it. But that's what illusion is all about. And that's, you attract with that.
Gio is the best. I mean, he is the best close-up magician.
Yeah, ever.
When this virus passes and the Meditation Olympics resume in 2021, Ken, if you'll stay on point,
Whoa.
Oh.
Where'd he go?
See? Magically, he disappeared.
I was trying to remove.
He meditated his
I was
way right
trying
off.
to remove. I was trying to remove the screen share, and it removed.
his Wi-Fi button said and that was it.
Oh wow. He's back. He's back. He's back. Wow. I think. Holy crap, Glenn.
Was that you kicking me out, or
No.
I actually was trying to it still said your screen was being shared in the bottom here.
Yeah.
And I clicked remove from studio and it removed you.
Which, by the way, it's 31 after the hour, which of course is the time every week that we do the special segment.
It never fails. It's always precisely at 31 after the hour, or not.
Or not.
Or not.
We didn't
So,
even give Jeffrey
that's
a
just
heads up.
wrong. Where
We
each
had
of us
to-
have to go around and say something that we have recently seen that made us go, ooh, that's just wrong. So apart from Ken dumping you off the show, Glenn,
Yeah, that was just wrong. I'll be honest with you.
wrong.
That was really
And
wrong.
Jeffrey, please know you're invited to play with us. Ken,
Thank
what
you,
you
Ken.
have this week? And it didn't have to happen just this week. If you don't have anything that occurred this week, what have you experienced that was just plain wrong?
Are you talking to me?
My 11-year-old daughter is taking school at home. She goes to a religious school. I am not of the same religion. She's an Episcopalian school. I end at the end of the Old Testament. That's my cutoff point.
Right.
Jesus was a good guy, but not the guy.
Right.
And she comes in and goes, Daddy, I don't want to go back to school next year. I like this homeschool stuff better. Okay. Gabrielle, that was wrong.
Ken, you
I-
got one for this week, brother?
You know, I have one that's related to that. I got a voice message from my daughter's school. I was just talking about this tonight at a cookout, and I said it said that according to the new regulations, when they bring the kids back, they're looking at multiple things. One of the things being that they're going to have to take a social distancing class before they can
my
come
God.
back, and they have to wear masks at school. And they're looking at that as a potential model. And I said, that's not just wrong. That's not happening. Like that, my daughter will be homeschooled. She's not going to school wearing a freaking mask. Like that is just way wrong. So, yeah, that's just
So
wrong.
have we progressed and added a new level to this time of sharing where we go from ooh, that's just wrong to ooh, that ain't going to happen, which is really a stair step up in terms of intensity.
Oh, I can think
That
of
will
another
happen
level, but
when
then we have to go to New York.
What's that?
Your language level is PG-13. I was going to go to R.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to keep it clean, but I personally think that that's just wrong. Can you imagine taking your little princess at 9 or 10 years old and shipping her off to school with a mask over her face that she has to wear all day? And how do you keep 5 and 6 year old kids 6 feet apart? That's not happening. Like we got to get, anyway, that's just wrong. So Scott, how about you?
A buddy of mine's principal of a school in Columbus, Ohio, and he was telling me about this guy that refused. No, wait.
Great segue, Scotty. Great segue. Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. I love my wife. I love my wife so much.
Smells like a butt is coming.
Wrong. However,
Is there a butt? Okay.
Yeah, it's a nice butt. But she has been saying, you're gaining weight. You're gaining weight. You have to lose weight. I agree, right? I agree. I need to exercise a little bit. And then 2 nights ago, we have dinner, and it is a tater tot casserole. Now, it's just wrong to tell somebody they need to lose weight and then put it.
Have a tater tot casserole. I agree.
Do you know the recipe for that? I posted the recipe on Facebook. It's a layer of hamburger with a layer of corn, then a layer of green beans, then a thick layer of cheese covered by a layer of tater tots.
Wow.
Are they diet tater tots?
I'm claiming they are.
I just wanted to say hello to the
So I
guy.
said, sweetie, if you want me to lose weight, that's just wrong.
Okay.
Hi, sweetheart.
You know,
So, Scott, can you pull your wife aside and discuss the concept of incongruency
we had a
with
discussion
her?
about that, but I tell you what, that dinner was so doggone good. It was really hard for me to.
Your wife is losing her sense of humor. She should have said, Scott, this is not actually for you. You just rub it on your ass.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, how about you?
Well, mine's not from this week, but we were, Carolyn and I walk every morning. And during this morning's walk, we leave the house at 5:45 and we take a 45-minute walk, which is our sunrise walk. And it's beautiful because when we walk out the door, it is pitch black. And it is during that 45 minutes that we watch the sun come up. And it's a great start to the gift of the new day. And we love that time together. And this morning I said, I know what I'm going to talk about on the show of the "Ooh, that's just wrong." And it's from, maybe 10 years ago. And like these other gentlemen, I've traveled extensively as a speaker. And I was actually speaking at a church, a mega church, one of these really enormous congregation churches in Detroit. And the minister couldn't have been any more engaging nor nice. And I was surrounded by a team of Secret Service people. I am not joking about this, all of whom were former Detroit PD. And the first thing he did is he said, listen, I want to apologize for all that security around you, but how can I put this politely? They were there because you need them to be there. And I just thought, wow. And he goes, but don't worry, we have all of these MODs that are throughout. And I thought, in the restaurant world, that would have meant manager on duty. But no, actually, the term was an acronym for Ministers of Defense. And he said, we have 60 of them, 60 that are in the congregation, all of whom are carrying, but you go out there and you relax today. You relax. I'm not joking. This really happened. And then he says, why don't you come back into my office? And I said, okay. And we're, a little pre-church chatter and so forth. We go into his office, and hand to God, for real, when the door opens, I look, and it is what I would describe as the dungeon of death. The walls have no less, again, I'm not exaggerating, no less than 100, not 2 or 3 wild animals. And now the point of killed that one, killed that one, killed that one, killed that one too. Now that zebra, he was acting up. Killed that one, killed that, killed that, killed that. That one, we got that one 2 years ago. And that bear, we got it. Followed by, all right, let's get out there and talk about love.
Wow.
And it's one of those where you sat there and you thought, if I were under the influence of massive quantities of weed, I would not be able to write something this good.
Correct.
You can't. There are times when life unfolds in ways that could not be concocted. They just have to show up organically, and we sit there and we go, wow, don't ever forget this. You're going to want to tell this story on stage. And so anyway, I have not mentioned that since it happened 10 years ago.
Wow.
So killed that one, killed that one. That one was running at our group, killed him too, killed him dead. Killed him dead. Like there's another version of killing something.
Killed him.
Killed him dead.
So, Glenn, do you know the Hollywood actress Joanna Cassidy?
Yes, I do.
We went to high school.
Joanna Cassidy.
She had the lead role in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. She was in Roller Derby. She was in a bunch of movies. She has like 1,000 credits, whatever that means.
Yes.
You graduate with 135. That's all I knew. But that was college, and I ended up with like 72. And I don't know. It was just, as Woody Allen said, it was a series of near misses. But we have now a Zoom reunion every 3 weeks. We've been out of high school for like 55 years. 55 years. You graduated in 63. So maybe more than 55. I don't know. But we have this reunion, and the only reason they're all on is that we went to high school together. And there'll be like 60 or 70 kids out of 220 or something, 50 of which are dead. So it's just about everybody's on there, and people are griping about, well, so-and-so didn't show up. But Joanna's like, she's the sweetest gem on the planet. And was the biggest rumor in school because she ran away and got married and went to Hollywood. It was like a big thing in small town Haddonfield. Anyway, but we communicate all the time. I send her my books. We're friends.
Wow.
On the reunion this week, there were 2 or 3 of the people were our ministers, Unitarian ministers. And they're talking about what they're doing and how they're doing it. And I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a very religious person. But I had attended a Unitarian church service one time in Charlotte 30 years ago. So I said to the group, I said, listen, I went to a Unitarian church. I can relate. I got in there, and the minister, whatever they call him, was bragging about the fact that they had degendered the songbook. And I yelled out in front of the audience, yelled it out from my seat. Yeah, but they still call it a hymn. And the audience broke up. I never went back. I couldn't go back.
If you'll open your hurnals to page 60.
Right, exactly. Your hurnals. Exactly.
We're going to say a women instead of a men, right? So.
Oh, nice, Scott.
Yeah, we keep going. But the challenge is we're way too dignified as a group. We're trying way too hard as a group to let society know that some people are offended by what you say or what you do. And I'm a genuine Philadelphian. I sold in New York and lived in New York for years. We don't care. We don't care what you like. We don't care what you think. Everything focuses around us. And you don't even care about the guy next to you. And Glenn, I'm sure you've traveled all over the world. You would know. McCain does for sure. Ken lives in Ohio, where people are like friendly with each other, and they'll like say hello.
We love everybody.
Right, and they mean it. They actually say hello and mean it.
We forgive you.
In
Doesn't
New York
even matter
City,
what you did, you're forgiven.
Yeah, in New York City, no eye contact, no talking. Period.
You know, I disagree. I've been to Manhattan, and let me say this one time in my life, and so because of people like you, I'm kidding. I was anticipating getting shot, mugged, drug into an alley, having my ass kicked, and I mean, people were genuinely nice. Walking down the street, they were nice. I was asking, like, I was with, I forget what it was. I asked somebody something. I was with this other dude that lives there, and this girl was really, really nice. I don't know, man. I had a different experience. It was the middle of the day in Manhattan on whatever street that was. So
yeah, lived there for 3 months. Make cold calls. Where up yours is a greeting.
You guys have heard this. I've got to tell this. But a buddy of mine, this musician, posted this morning. Atheist is walking on a trail in the woods. All of a sudden, a grizzly bear pops out behind him, starts chasing him. Atheist sprinting down the trail, can't find anywhere to go. He goes up a tree, but he realizes bears can climb trees. So he's hanging on to a limb, and he looks up to the heavens and he says, "Dear Lord, I've professed so long that I don't believe in you. It would be hypocritical of me to pray for my own safety. But God, if you exist, would you please make the bear a Christian? All of a sudden, the bear drops to his knees. The atheist looks down and hears the bear say, "Oh Lord, thank you for this bountiful feast that you have placed before me."
Okay. That being said, hey, gentlemen, I love that joke, Scott. So
good.
that being said, before we launch into tonight's topic, which was actually credited to Jeffrey, he had a great idea, and I would like to recommend that we do that. But before we dive in, since we're talking about religion and so forth, and Jeffrey is certainly raised, I guess, within Judaism. My stepfather was Jewish. I was raised Jewish. And I just thought it would be remiss of me if I didn't share with you guys the difference between Judaism in 2019 and what it is today. And I want to share that. So I can go to screen share once again. Is that correct?
Yeah. And why don't you start preface this with telling everybody how you were raised, Glenn?
Well, I was raised Jewish, and when my mother remarried, I mean, we were the first few years of my life. I come from a Southern Baptist family, but when my mother and father divorced, she raised us as a single mom for about 3 years, and at age 6, she married a Jewish man. And so I was raised Jewish, and it was hilarious because we had a rabbi that sounded like this. He was like, "Hey, boys, hey, y'all shush. We're over here fixing to have a bar mitzvah." And it was really, really strange. So I want to share with you, I believe I think we've got it up. Now, can you see this? Don't look at it yet. Can you?
I see it.
Okay, well, well, you can see it, but you haven't put it out yet, right?
No, it's not out yet. Just
okay.
Go ahead. I'll be able to tell when you have the picture.
Okay, so I was raised. No, I don't know why it's acting up a little bit, but if it doesn't work, we just won't bother with it. It started to show, Ken, and then it stopped. So let's make one more stab at it. If it doesn't play, then I'm just going to disregard it.
Was it funny?
Okay, so let's see. I believe it was this top one. That's it, right? No, that's just the second one. Okay.
Oh,
that's the second one.
Oh, yeah.
So we are here. It's this one right here. Okay.
So the guy gets his hooker up in his room.
I'm going to have to go with the small photo.
That's exactly what she said.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, can we just do the small photo
downtown?
Yeah,
we can just go. We can just hit punchlines.
Oh my God!
Just crack each other up.
Oh my God!
So, Ken, can we just do that, or don't I have to just hit slideshow right there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it again.
Looks like give it a second. Give it a second. You're on dial up. I'm kidding.
Keep talking. Oh, you are too funny. No, it's just not wanting to show.
It's not working.
Glenn, I can give a clearer distinction if you'd like.
Okay.
If you're raised in a Christian home, you are told in your church that you're all sinners and you're going to hell in a handbasket. And if you ever get to heaven, it's like a whole different thing. And Jews, we do not have heaven and hell. We have wholesale and retail.
And retail. That's right.
And that is the distinguishing feature.
He is speaking the truth, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you want to just show this one, Ken? Is this okay?
Yeah, here, I'll show that, just like that.
Okay, so we're going to share something with you.
Oh, what'd you do?
Okay, there it is.
Oh. There.
Okay, do you guys see this photo?
Yeah.
Now, I was trying to make it bigger.
But?
Is that going to make it bigger or no?
No.
Okay, but you can see it.
There.
So this is now hit that or no?
No.
So
no,
this is Judaism in 2019.
Got it.
Yeah.
Judaism in 2019. This is the shofar, which is the ram's horn that is played during the high holidays. We have right now the menorah, which is from Hanukkah, an elderly Jewish man here, and yet another elderly Jewish man here.
Yes.
And then we will go into the difference and what Judaism now is.
That was 2019.
That was 2020. This was 2019. This is Judaism in 2020.
Right. Here we go.
That is funny. That is
okay.
Funny.
Jeffrey, please know that was for you, my friend.
Thank you very kindly.
I'm sorry that it didn't go large because the large photo is hilarious. But when Ken told me that we had you on the show, I thought, I know what I'm going to do.
Exactly. That's it. That is.
Well, thank you for appreciating the humor. In that.
Took 51 minutes.
Carolyn says
it was worth the pay. Worth the wait for the payoff.
Jewish hell is being raised by a Jewish mother.
Yeah. You know the old Joan Rivers joke is the difference between a vulture and a Jewish mother. The vulture eats your heart out after you're dead.
oh my God.
Okay, so Jeffrey's topic.
Oh, we're going to get hate mail. I know it.
No, we're not. Rent a sense of humor, folks. We're going to be okay. Jeffrey suggested, and I think it's beautiful, is we're talking about this idea of going back to work with so many states now reopening.
I need to ask you to do something first.
Sure.
It's ever since I accidentally kicked you out of the show, your audio has been screwed up. I need you to refresh. It's gonna remove you, but refresh and come back in.
Okay, that's fine. Kick me out. Go ahead and set up the topic, and I'll be back.
No, well, yeah, go ahead.
Do you want me to press leave? You want me to press leave studio or no?
No, just refresh the page. That's all you have to do.
All right.
Refresh the page. That's it. Okay, Jeffrey, since it was your idea, go for it.
Scott and I are having a sidebar. Leave us alone. Not many people understand.
Don't make me put you guys in the corner.
Not many people understand that in the speaking profession, after this pandemic started, the business folded. Literally, there were no events. Everything was canceled, and speakers that had bookings lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Literally, and not like 9/11. This pandemic, you ain't coming back anytime real soon. 9/11.
We're the last thing that's going to come back, right? I mean,
it'll be the last. Oh yeah, they're opening up Vegas, but you have to, it's going to be tough. I mean,
it's going to take a while for sure.
Social distancing is ruining the lives of hookers, and so the challenge that you have right now is what are you going to be doing to go back to your office or to go back to your customers or to go back to your work? And my statement is you don't go back, you go forward.
Yes.
There is going to be a new normal, and that new normal will include virtual and video in a way that people don't yet understand. They've been forced into their homes to get a video to their customers, to their coworkers, to their relatives, to everybody. You're on Zoom all day long or some kind of video thing. Most people are home. I'm in the old group. So I hang at home. Now, do you think that's going to change? No, it's not going to change, because the sales guy who's flying to Pittsburgh for a meeting to see a customer for an hour, gets to the airport at 7, leaves at 9, gets there at 11, has some lunch, meets the customer till 2, and comes back home. He couldn't do that on video. He couldn't do that on a Zoom call. Well, maybe not all the time, but I'll bet you half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now he can have a meeting at 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 instead of just one meeting. Travel is going to get cut in this country like never before. I mean, cut, because
Hertz just filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, but
that's car rental.
That was a long time coming. That was not the pandemic. That was Uber.
Yeah.
They forgot.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, and I agree with you. Same with J.C. Penney, but it was this pandemic, the little bit of cash flow those companies had left coming in was
It's over.
gone. And it only took a month and a half, and they were like, "Oh, we're done. We're done."
So I'm challenging people. What are you going to do? What's the real world? Like, Glenn, you have a gig to go back to, and Scott, you have a gig to go back to, and Ken, you're in Ohio where nothing really happens anyway. And the challenge is, what are normal people?
Jeffrey, it's great having you on the show.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Rest assured, Jeffrey, it's going to change for us. I can't imagine how different the film set is going to be when we return. I mean, I've gone through it in my mind of how many things we've seen for the last time looking like they will ever look again on a film set. So it'll all be very interesting, you know.
Jeffrey, one of the things I've said is that's why I don't use the term new normal, because it's going to be new, but it sure ain't going to feel normal.
Yeah.
And if it feels normal, it means it's not new. And so there's not this, I don't know what the all encompassing term is, but to think that there's going to be a normal of anything for a while is going to be different, I think. And you know, you made the great point. It's not like 9/11, where we thought after we get through this, then everything will go back. We'll get back on planes. We'll have to go through security, but we're going to travel again. I think you're exactly right. This is not coming back the way it used to be.
I have converted to this.
Yeah.
And listen and look I got lighting.
Yeah.
See my lighting?
Yeah, that's great.
Temporarily, it comes from China, but it ain't gonna.
No.
You're gonna get it from Cleveland, Ohio, or Rochester, New York, or you're gonna get it from some place that's way, way different than we've received it before. This world is going to change, I think, for the better. I'm totally welcome to it, but this will be the first year since the 90s when I was not executive platinum.
Yeah.
On purpose. Like, I don't want to go back on an airplane. I don't need to go back. I don't need to prove I can go to Cleveland and make a speech. I can do more from my living room and from my library. And, look, I'm here. Yeah. I'm here every day. Every morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:59 a.m., I go on Facebook Live and talk to a group of people. And by noon, 2,000 people have watched the entire video. By the end of the week, it's 10,000 people. And I've been doing this every day now for 2 months. The audience grows. And I'm making a course called The New Normal, which is how you're going to go forwards to work. But everything, including how to do video. And there's elements emerging in our society that have never emerged before. And you're going to go pick up your dinner. You're going to go, the library will stand outside and hand you a book. I mean, it's outrageous. The stands outside with a bag of books, and you drive by and you get your book.
I was talking, Jeffrey, to a mutual friend of ours, Joe Calloway, a couple days ago, and
I actually like him.
He always made fun of me because I was the guy that wanted to get on another plane, and I love speaking internationally, and I love, and I'm like, I don't care if I ever get on another plane. I'm really, really happy doing this.
So now the question is, what will the speaking opportunities be? Because obviously this is a terrible time to resist acclimating. Terrible time to try to hold on to the way it once was. I couldn't agree with you more, Jeffrey. I think it is, the changes are here to stay. So we might as well go ahead and mourn whatever we're going to mourn, because a lot of it is gone permanently. Now let's fast forward to the world we are in and the world we're headed forward into. What will the new speaking opportunities look like relative to what we recognize to be ballrooms and stages and anywhere from 500 to a couple of thousand people? Yeah. What is it going to look like moving forward?
You're here. You're giving your speech right now, Glenn. It will be virtual, and you'll need a studio. I don't know how well you know Jeb Blunt, but he has converted his place into a 5-camera shoot studio. And last month was the biggest month he's ever had in his career, money-wise.
Wow.
Because he's converted to virtual and he doesn't need to get on an airplane. And his clients love it. And you know what? He says, look, I have more expenses now. I have to charge you more money. And they go, okay. Think about that. Wow. This is a time where reinvention is not an option.
Well said. Well said.
And so I'm lucky. I had my studio since 1998 when the internet was 56K. So I have 20 years of broadcast to myself. I have 1,000 hours of video. And, you know, I'm comfortable with it. I'm very, very comfortable with it. I can read from a prompter and you can't tell that I'm reading from the prompter, A, because I wrote it, and B, because I got 20 years of experience. You know what that's like.
Sure. Of course.
You're in the moment. And I have the passion. I love what I do. And so if you have good content and passion and technology, you can win. If you don't have all three of those things, you're screwed. Passion, content, technology. You can't have passion and content and be on AOL. It's not going to work.
I'd throw talent in there as well.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that goes without saying, I guess. But, you know, I think it's time for us to stop, not for us as speakers, but I think it's time for the meeting professionals are going to have to stop thinking like stage producers and think like broadcasters.
I agree. I'm writing a book called Go Live, because that's what you see when you're on, you know, you're live when you see it on StreamYard, and people aren't familiar with what to do or how to do it. Yeah, and I've talked about my high school reunion. How many people are on? They're 75 years old. They're on Zoom for the first time. Yeah, this is my first time doing this. I'm like, are you serious? I've been on Zoom since it started.
Yeah.
Damn AOL. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Glenn, you know. But the older you are, the less you're acclimated to it. The less you've had, you know, Gabrielle. Are you kidding me? This kid has a tablet, a Chromebook, a laptop, and an iPhone, and not the shitty iPhone. I'm talking about the iPhone that clicks. And she's doing this thing called Animal Crossings, which is the new black. It's like Roblox, but it's on steroids. But it's a business. You have an island. You have a home. The home has a mortgage. You go out and work. You pay your mortgage off. I'm like, are you kidding me? She goes, yeah, Daddy, this is unbelievable. And I can invite my cousin. Huh? Well, yeah, she's in Oregon.
Yeah.
And she's on simultaneously. It's scary. The technology is scary. And we grew up playing Pong, you know, with a little ball.
Sure.
Yeah. And you whack it. Yeah. And we thought that's it. Look, honey, Pong.
Well, and I just see Leanne is on watching. It's Monday morning in Australia. I was just doing a video conference for this with a client of mine in Australia. I mean, it's think about how that changes. Think of just what the flight is that they were paying for speakers to go over there.
Joe Soto's on, my buddy.
Yeah.
Joe Soto's he's like a digital marketing guy, only better. It's the best way.
Joe Soto is an amazing human being. Yeah. I love this comment that Joe said earlier, Jeffrey, that you missed. I'll let me put it back up.
The airlines will miss you.
Hey, you know what? I don't think Glenn knows the airline story, and there's probably a lot of people.
And I want to know it, but I want to tell Joe how much I appreciated his story about it being about the coffee. I thought that was a great
so brilliant
example, and brilliant. To not take it personally, right. And the things that are only about the coffee, make sure they stay only about the coffee.
Yeah,
really, really well said, my brother.
Yeah.
So what is the airplane story? What is that?
My wife is Jewish and from New Jersey, and she told me the other day, honey, it's not about the coffee. It's all about you. I'm like, okay. So I was banned on U.S. Airways for 11 months. I wrote 2 scathing articles about them in 2003. I was being published in 50 different business journals, all of which were their hub cities. They were true about how they lie and what they do. And then I made the mistake in Charlotte of making one of the gate agents cry because I called her a liar as she said the plane has a maintenance issue. And I said, toilet or engine? And she goes, well, we have no way of knowing. I said, well, then why don't you pick up the phone and ask somebody? But I was a little bit more expletive laden.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a G-rated show, but
we're able to go deep into our minds and picture what you might have said.
So I'm banned. Now there's 1,000 posts about me on Flyer Talk because I'm the only person ever banned on U.S. Airways. Is that cool or what?
Aren't they out of Charlotte?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
nothing like being banned in your hometown.
I'm flying private like 20 times that year, or I had to fly Delta. But now I'm on. It wasn't American yet, and I'm flying on American. I'm executive platinum now on American. I was a platinum on Delta, whatever you could be, because I'm flying literally 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So they finally fly to Charlotte, and I agree to apologize, and they agree to reinstate me with all my miles. I get to the airport the first day that I'm back, and they all know I'm back. The sky caps line up at the curb and hug me to welcome me back because I'm 20. Everyone tips $2. No, I'm 20. Because when there's 400 people at Thanksgiving, guess who's next?
Copy that.
Okay, so that's the front story. The back story is, let me get this right here. 3 months before I was banned, they sent me this. U.S. Airways sent me this. Can you see it?
It's a globe,
Yeah.
It looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. It says,
Thank you.
top 500 customers. 2002.
Oh, wow.
They sent me this award. Then they banned me.
Wait a minute. You've completely overlooked this earlier in the show under the heading of, ooh, that's just wrong. Wow.
Yeah, totally just wrong. But to me now, it's a badge of honor. I mean, I'm the only person ever banned on the airline, and they no longer exist. No one can touch my record. I'm Guinness Book of Records.
All right, so you left us hanging. What followed? What ensued after the hugs from the sky caps?
I get inside, and it was half the people love me, half the people hate me. Literally. And I get in, I don't argue anymore. I got my hood up. I go in, I check in. I'm a good boy. Leave me alone. I had a counter incident about a year ago where the woman was just horrible. And rather than, she was a horrible, angry human being. And I said, listen, rather than me go off, why don't you just go get me your daddy? People don't like when you say that. So this guy comes out.
People don't like
Terms of Endearment by Jeffrey Gitomer.
Exactly. This guy comes out and we start to chat and he goes, weren't you that guy that got banned? And I said, yes. I said, yes, I was, but that does not make her any less of a bitch. And the guy was going, yeah, you're right. And let me go. Fixed whatever I needed and let me go. The airlines don't care about anybody. They don't care about their customers. They don't care about their employees. And all of a sudden, now that no one's flying, they want to try to be nice to you. They want to tell you how well they're cleaning the plane. Like, what did they do for the first 25 years? Well, Marriott, I got the same thing. I'm a platinum for life on Marriott. I get a note from them that says, we're doing extra cleaning now. Like we're using better quality stuff. What you used to use? That's what I want to know.
Please tell me you've also successfully been banned by Marriott.
No,
as
I've
well.
never been banned on Marriott. I've been threatened, but I've never been banned. Look, people have
The Little Black Book of Pissing
that's
Off
good.
Airlines by Jeffrey Gitomer.
Oh, that's from Joe Ingram. Oh, that's funny.
I have to tell you, people are trained stupid. Like you go to a hotel, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and you walk up to the front desk and they go, checking in. I go, no, I'm here for my hair transplant. What do you think I'm doing? I mean, seriously, I got my bag. I look a little tired.
Oh my God.
I remember
Wow.
standing
Holy
next to a guy at the Excalibur years ago. I think I went in that joint one time in Las Vegas, and the guy next to me had lost about $15,000. He had a few $100s worth of chips left. Walked to the window. He's the guy right in front of me, and they have a pat thing that they say to all their players. So here he is, having dropped almost 15 grand. And after he got his transaction taken care of, the woman looked at him and said, "Have a royal day," which is just what you want to hear when you parted with $15,000, is to have somebody wish you a royal day.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Vegas is tough.
They're going to be reopening soon.
Yeah, I love it.
isn't it?
I love it.
What's the latest, Scott, on the reopening of Las Vegas?
June 1 is the date. Some of the restaurants inside the casinos are going to open earlier. They're going to have a pathway that you walk to get to the restaurant. June 1's the day. There was a really interesting interview yesterday on the news with the local woman who she had a plexiglass business. And talk about your business, exploding. Her business is up like 3,000% because she's making these plexiglass barriers.
Oh, partitions
at the blackjack table. So you will sit down, and there'll be a plexiglass banner between the players. Before, where it would seat 6, now it's going to seat 4. So huge changes. I mean, it's huge. But June 1, it looks to be the opening date for the petri dish of viruses that will be Las Vegas.
I will tell you that the mayor of Las Vegas is, she's the wife of the former mayor.
Yeah. And
the most outspoken human being. I totally love her moxie, and she's telling everybody that she's an absolute, that the people are against her politically, and she's right. I mean, dude, if you want to get sick, go get sick. They'll do everything they can. They're smart people. The people that own these hotels, they're 9 of the 10 largest hotels in the world. You think they don't know what they're doing? They know exactly. They know how much oxygen to pump in there. They could pump in NyQuil and have everybody like, you know what I mean? It would be okay. But no, the governor, or whoever it is, thinks they know more than the people who make $1 billion a day. Well,
we'll take issue a little bit with that because the person running the thing for the governor is the immediate past CEO of MGM. So, he is wired into, what's happening in the casino market. It's the problem for Vegas, and Steve Wynn was interviewed about this, and it's kind of the first time that he's been interviewed about anything for a while. But he had a great insight. He said the challenge for Vegas is going to be flights. That's going to be what it's going to be solely dependent upon how quickly the airlines reestablish that it's easy to get to Las Vegas.
But people will drive from LA and San Francisco because they can get there in a few hours, and it's going to be cheap. You're going to get cheap food and cheap rooms. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I do, as a speaker, Las Vegas is the epicenter of seminars.
Yeah.
So for 20 years, I was in Vegas once a month, giving a speech of some kind. You don't succumb to Vegas. Like, I don't gamble at all because you're going to lose. I mean, that's part of the deal. That's all those little lights and shit. They come from quarters from people who put them in there and go, "Oh, I just missed." Right. They figure that out. They know that part. So
they know that part.
So what I've done over the years is I will go into a clothing store and bet the manager of the store $200 that I can own that pair of jeans, and I win
Every time. Every
I
time.
win every time. Winner, chicken dinner. And Vegas is the coolest place on the planet. It's like Disneyland for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think, Jeffrey, that it will cease to be the speaker mecca because of the virus, and on the backside of it, will it be widely distributed and there will no longer be a primary location?
In a year, in 3 months, they're going to announce a cure, a therapeutic cure, and it will be, and you heard it here first, it will be hydroxychloroquine in some kind of format. The people that are telling you it isn't are lying. And then there'll be some kind of a vaccine that will have nothing to do with Bill Gates whatsoever. And at that point, people will try to go back to somewhat of the way it used to be, and Vegas will emerge. It has to emerge. It's too much of a fun place for it not to emerge. And people will eventually have a corporate meeting there. And it might take a year, Glenn, but I think it will come back. And
I personally believe that within the next 12 to 18 months, we will be right back where we were. I do believe what you're saying about the online presence is still going to be, it's going to be 1,000 times bigger than it was pre-COVID. But I do think that we're going to be back to having events. I think speakers are going to be back in full swing. I think that it's going to go back. I do not see, at least here in the United States, I do not see. I mean, Glenn, in your industry, I don't know what it's like on a television set or a movie set, but I can't imagine that there's a whole lot of social distancing occurring on one of those sets. And
no, there has not been in the past, but there certainly could be moving forward. There could be. I mean, I can see adjustments being made. I don't see a lot of kissing that's going to be taking place. And we have some of that on our show. They're going to have to find ways around that. We work in very close proximity, but even that, with lenses, they can pull the crew back and have them shoot us from further away than they used to, right? I'm saying we're going to walk into a sea of change. How long lasting that will be remains to be seen. But it's an interesting point. Congratulations on your level of faith, Ken, and I mean that sincerely, that you believe. When you say we, how big is your we? Are you talking about the entire world returning to what it once was?
No, it's Jersey, New Jersey. That's all.
No, I think,
and everything else emanates from that, Glenn. If Jersey gets it, the rest of the world will follow suit. 2 seconds.
It's not about my level of faith. It's more about knowing human beings and how much we are all creatures of habit. And we can say, well, hey, I'm freaked out as much as we want to say I'm freaked out. But at the end of the day, human beings are creatures of habit. And the Jeffrey Gitomers and the Scott McCains and the Tony Robbins, I mean, what the heck's Tony going to do for a living? My God. So being on stages in front of thousands of people, you can't say, well, we're going to have 2,000 people and keep these 2,000 people 6 feet apart. It's just not. I don't think that model is going to last.
When people get used to the fact that there's a cure of some kind, they'll go back to feeling okay about being next to someone.
But the COVID-19 is a member of the common cold family. The common cold is a COVID virus, and there is not a vaccine for the common cold. I don't think they're going to ever have a vaccine that actually will work. That's my personal opinion. We just lost half of our audience.
Good night, everybody.
Well, here's the good news. The good news is you at least waited till 20 after the hour to make that.
Exactly.
I think there are some things that are never going to change. And the business I sure wouldn't want to be in right now is commercial real estate.
Yeah.
I think that when companies realize that people working out of their home, that and they're financing their own office space through their rent or through their personal mortgage, that they can save millions of dollars monthly on office space. I don't think that's coming back. I don't think that's coming back. I can tell you through a well-placed source that Tony Robbins is going virtual. I attended a program. I was telling you guys, I attended a program last weekend. 2,000 people at the seminar. It was held on Zoom, and it was unbelievably good.
Yeah.
The ability to have 2,000 people, and the speaker had a lot of monitors in front of him, and they could call on. Oh, there's Leanne in Australia. Hey, let's say hi to Ernest in Texas, and then to say, hey, now that I've talked about this, let's go into breakout groups. Boom, and the screen automatically sent you into a breakout with 5 other people. And, one of them's in France, one of them's in the UK, one of them's in Texas. Here I am in Vegas. And we had a great discussion. Then boom, you went right back in. And it's
so you're not talking about a model that's less efficient here. You're actually talking about one that's more efficient.
And
and you can't
later from the speaker. I found out later from the speaker that he had 700 people that had signed up for the program. When they went virtual, now he had 2,100 people that had signed up for the program. And why? Well, because you didn't have to fly to Phoenix to go. You didn't have to pay for a hotel. You didn't have to. Now, the problem, obviously, with virtual is, does your audience get distracted? How do you, if Jeffrey or I are standing in front of them, there's more of a peer pressure to pay attention and be engaged in that.
No, we're great, Scott. You don't understand. No one's going to take a leak while I'm talking.
So for speakers other than Jeffrey and myself, who may have a problem with audience engagement.
But here's the deal. You can be somewhat interactive with Zoom.
You absolutely can.
But every morning I'm on StreamYard now talking to my Facebook group. I say hello to 50 or 100 people. You don't do that with an audience if you're live with them. You just, maybe you kibitz with 1 or 2 people, and that's it. And most of those speakers stand on the stage. I don't.
By the way, let me translate. Kibitz means to interact.
Oh, yeah.
And chat, to deal with.
By the way, Glenn, there's another there's another word that you translated for us a while back.
Schmuck.
Go ahead. Make a run through them all, Jeffrey.
No, well, the schmuck is a very simple definition. The guy gets out of the shower to take a piss. The schmuck.
I don't remember what the word was that I translated.
Glenn. It was
I told you I apologized. I often am asked back a couple of years in a row for the same company.
Ooh.
And I had spoken to this big Fortune 500 company, and then they asked me back the following year, and I didn't want to repeat any of the same material. So I went through a list of a lot of content, just no on that, no on that, no on that. But when I watched my energy, I felt like maybe there was a chance that I had come across as being somewhat condescending. So I opened that second year by apologizing for what I felt was me coming across as being somewhat condescending last year. And then I took about 3 seconds and went, oh, I'm sorry. That's when you talk down to someone.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're talking. See, that's phenomenal.
I love that.
That is funny.
It's hard not to be condescending when many of you are stupid.
I can't be condescending if you don't get it. Right?
Exactly.
If you're not smart enough to get what I'm saying. That's funny.
Condescending, you can check it out if you have an iPhone.
So I want to throw a serious question to you, gents, and this is dovetailing Scott off of your comments about the commercial real estate business, and I could not agree anymore. Whoa. Here is a question of many, but here's one that's in my head right now. What do they do with these buildings that were not for residents? Right there, these are office space buildings that are going up, high rises that are, well, let's just say they're 50% there. What do?
You convert them.
Yep.
Okay.
Look, I live In the 1920s, the Lance Cracker Factory, the Lance peanut butter crackers, the 3 peanut butter things it was a dime. Now it's $1.49 at the airport. This is where I live, in that factory. They took the factory, they put walls up, they converted it into lofts, and I live in a series of those lofts. Well, do you think they're not going to do the same thing? They're not going to take these multi-gazillion dollars, and they're actually, commercial buildings are better built than residential buildings.
Yeah.
Yep.
They build residential buildings with wooden 2x4s. With the commercial, it's steel and concrete. You can hear the other guy peeing in a residence building in San Diego, for example. They've converted a lot of their office places or their old factory places into living quarters, and they're soundproof. They're wonderful. They're expensive, but people that have money want to live in a nice place. And I think you're going to see an awful lot of conversion. And just like you saw shopping malls turn into office places when they burnt out, you're going to see exactly the same thing.
So can we label this the biggest redirection, colossal sized redirection that has occurred in our lifetime?
Totally. In Charlotte, where I live,
I mean, across the board redirection.
In Charlotte, there are 20 cranes up in the air right now. 20. And no one's writing about what's going to happen when work reappears. No one's talking about it. And the main reason is no one knows. The banks, I'm sure, are scared shitless. And, there's plenty of banks here. There's plenty of industry here. We're the banking capital of the Eastern United States, other than New York City, bigger than Atlanta. All the banks that are here they're here. There's a guy, 31 cranes in Nashville. What's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. People will figure it the hell out. Greedy people who have wealth will figure it the hell out. I'll guarantee you. The ingenuity of this country, when it comes to money, there's no limit to it. None whatsoever. And I believe the government will also throw you a bone or two, because I've gotten a couple of the PPP money, which has helped my company. I have an SBA loan, and they literally forgave 6 months of it. So I'm fine. I have capital reserve to move forward and convert my business to virtual. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. And we've already created a couple of courses, and Airbnb are going to get hammered. Right. But listen,
look what Nancy says. She owns a place in Hawaii, completely dead, lost months of vacation rentals.
Right. So, and we're trying to rent a place in Wild Dunes, but it's coming back. The summer will hit. People will go to the shore. People will go to the beach. Will it be as much? No. Can you suffer the loss? I don't know what your positions are. They'll convert it to something.
Hence the expression, necessity is the mother of invention. We are really on the front lines of that, feeling it.
Yeah. Pray to God they keep their Hulu subscriptions, Glenn.
Yeah. Hey, we're almost out of
with
time.
you, brother.
There was something I wanted to make sure that I said before we end up tonight. One of the things that often happens when you're coming out with a new book is, you want to get quotes and you want to get people to help you, but a lot of times authors won't do that. Either because they don't want to, it's one thing to say that they want to see you succeed. It's another thing to help you succeed. Some try to, maintain they only want to appear on their own books. And I got asked to write a book, and there was one guy that I asked to give me a quote. And I just want you to know, this guy has a heart of gold. He is awesome, because Jeffrey Gitomer's quote here at the top of my book is part of what helped this book do very well, because I have told him that personally, but I wanted to make sure that I said it to everybody here, that Jeffrey is a great person and a great friend and a heart of gold, and it is a privilege to be his pal. So thank you again, my friend, for that.
We ended up together for more than a decade at every NSA meeting. hanging out someplace and just sitting in a corner and talking about life.
Yeah.
Scott is intelligent, but he also has the voice. You know what I mean? He has like the mesmerizing voice. And so I would go, wow, nice voice. And
if only I had content.
Huh? But right. So I have decided I'm just going to write books and not ask anybody for anything. Like, I don't want any quote from anybody because I don't want them to feel bad about it. And if you ask me to write the foreword for your book, I will gladly do it. It's 10 grand.
That's a way to do it.
And I put you on my podcast, which has 2 million downloads. I put you in my email magazine that has 150,000 distribution. And so it's worth it to do that. But the world of publishing is changing now. And I mean, it's going to go virtual real quick. I mean, real quick. Publishers have no idea what to do. They're big, they're cash rich, and they're stupid. And I sat with the CEO of HarperCollins one day and said, you know, all publishers are pretty much liars and whores. And he goes, well, yeah, but like, yeah, but not like, no, we're not.
No argument.
Right. No argument. Literally no argument. And
wow.
I've been blessed to speak with the CEOs of every major publisher. And they are in a quandary. They don't know what to do. And they don't realize they don't have a nickel invested in an ebook. And they still only give a publisher, they'll try to give you 15 or 20% royalty. I go, no, I want 50%. It costs you nothing. And if I sell the book at my sale, can I have 100% of my book? Well, no, we did that. They have every reason to try to grab all your money. But publishers are looking for one kind of person, a person that can sell books. So they look at my numbers and they go, whoa, wow, this guy can sell books. Let's see what we can do. But I know the business. They go, oh, you know the business. Oh, you know the business. Oh. So this is my latest book. And you know the problem with it? Amazon won't promote a book with a swear word in it. And you know what I told them? I didn't realize that done was a swear word.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get it. But the book is sold in spite of that. The ebook and the audiobook have sold more than the hardbound book, if that's an indicator of where things are going.
Yeah, sure is, isn't it? Yeah, the hardbound books have become souvenirs, right? People buy them for, you know, after a gig or they hear a speaker or whatever, and they buy them. Yeah. It's like buying a T-shirt after the concert. You know, you want a souvenir, but the ebook and the audio book is they're reading and listening to learn.
They want a signed book.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love signing books. I mean, people will call and they go, if we get 100 books, will you sign them?
Do you do that? I said it a book.
Do you lean in and say, once again, that'll be 10 grand?
Right.
I do that. I said at a book signing, and like you're signing the 300th book, and you're going $10.
Yeah, $10.
In your head, you just ka-ching. You just.
Glenn, if I tell somebody 10,000 bucks, I say, and no checks.
Mm.
Copy.
Exactly. But I'm having fun. See, people are too damn serious about their life. I'm having a good time. And I don't know whether it's a secret to my longevity or not, but look, Jeffrey signed the cover of mine, and now it's on eBay. Wait till I'm dead, so it'll be. Don't sell it short. You wait another 25 years. I have one of those, thanks to Ken. Yeah, listen, these things happen. I'm asked to sign books all the time. I'm not like Barry Bonds about it. I love signing books.
Yeah, absolutely.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah, Leona signed her book to me this week.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
So, hey, we're at the end of the show, guys.
Oh.
Another one that's flown by. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Pleasure.
I mean, truly flown by.
Thanks for the 10 grand.
Thanks for painting us into a corner with our future guests.
Yeah. So I would have done this for free. I mean, literally, I was willing, and Ken forced me to take it.
Oh my God.
You were very much worth the 10 grand, my brother. Very much worth it.
Thank you very kindly.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Really appreciate you, man. You've been a what's the Jewish word for a gift, a blessing?
A mitzvah. A mitzvah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you've been a mitzvah in my life, and I genuinely love you like a brother, man. I think you're awesome. So
Thank you very kindly. Thank you. We should actually have a conversation offline.
Yes,
we're going to. So don't hang up after
stay
we
with
end.
us a couple of minutes. We're gonna close off with the audience, and we'll stay just the four of us. Hey guys, thanks for watching us this week and all weeks. We appreciate you. You are why we exist on Sunday evenings, and just thank you from all of our hearts. Thank you.
Scott, you want to take us out?
You bet. That concludes another week. We really appreciate you being here with us. That's all for tonight. We'll see you again next Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific for the Ken and Glenn Show.
With
a guy
named Scott.
Yeah.
Good night,
See you
everybody.
guys. Thanks.